Hey everybody, this is Dan,
And this is Ron.
and this is the Anomaly Questionable Movies podcast. And this week, boy, do we have movies plural. Boy, are they questionable.
Yeah, these might be these are definitely in the top 10 of our questionable movies.
Yeah, these were both like not unexpectedly bad, but just sort of like
You know, when we
like
say
it was like a bad that like maintained its potency over time like a fine cheese. So we watched The Terror of Tiny Town, which I want to say was 1943.
I think it was 38.
38, okay.
Now I'm gonna look that up, but keep going.
Yeah, I'm probably wrong on that. And it's known for being the only ever all little people Western musical. The only one, and it was all shot on Coney Island, which I'm a sucker for Coney Island shit, so I like watching anything with like vintage Coney Island footage in it. And then at Ron's suggestion, and because I had been meaning to watch it for a very long time, I finally watched Big Top Pee-Wee. Some of you may have heard our initial episode on Pee-wee's Big Adventure. In that episode, I say that Pee-wee's Big Adventure is the best English language comedy of the 1980s. I still stand by that. What the fuck happened in this movie? There's like two things that broke my heart this week, and the bigger one is Pee-Wee Herman right now. You know, I never had it in the back of my head that Pee-Wee Herman would abandon me. But
oh man, I'm sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to ruin things for you.
Well, I was the third woman, you know, staring, and it's just like, why the hell is Pee-wee Herman making out with an adult woman? Like that's right, because it's like all the new characters they add suck and are forgettable, and then the one memorable character they have, they just like butcher. Right? There's like not really much to connect that Pee-wee to the Pee-wee character in either the show or the first movie. So I guess to start off, I'm going to preface this by saying we're probably not going to spend a lot of time talking about Terrors of Tiny Town because there's really not much to talk about. It's offensive and kitschy in all the ways you're imagining. The weirdest thing is that it's played straight. Just imagine a fucking 30s Gene Autry movie, but it's all little people. You're done. That's the movie. Ron, if you want to add anything, by all means, be my guest, but I don't think I missed anything.
You mentioned the musical numbers, right?
Yep.
Okay, then that's it.
Yeah, because Gene Autry, that was his whole thing. He was the singing cowboy.
Yeah, the only thing that was missing from that movie, more songs. Each one worse than the last. Yeah, no, I have nothing to say about that movie. I think you covered it.
I mean, it's pretty much, it's like Werner Herzog's Even Dwarves started small, but with like all the kind of purpose and interest like surgically grafted out of it.
I know. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean it's just sort of like I think the film itself really isn't that offensive, but just like the only thing that can run through your head the entire time you're watching is just like really off-color jokes.
All right, so Big Top Pee-wee?
Big Top Pee-wee. So I guess my first question about Big Top Pee-wee is, you saw this in the theater, am I correct?
I believe it was in the theater.
And was it that bad then?
Yes, it was that bad.
And like, how many years after the original Pee-wee movie was this like heavily anticipated?
I mean, the Pee-wee movie was really popular, so actually it took, I don't think this came out immediately. I think it took a little bit. Here, and I'm gonna look it up. You know how many times in the last hour and a half I was on IMDb typing Big Top Pee-wee? Oh no, 1988. It came up pretty quick.
1988.
Yeah. So
okay, so it's like so that's like 4 years later and 2 years before the TV show, or like a year before the TV show.
Let's see, Pee-wee's Playhouse. Pee-wee's Playhouse started in '86, so this movie was made while Pee-wee's Playhouse was going on.
Oh, so this was made during. So he probably didn't have hands-on involvement.
Uh-huh.
A lot of it, that would explain why he doesn't show up in a lot of his own movie.
Ah.
And why the character's like so off, because it's probably like those McGowan Prisoner episodes where he was off doing other work. Although, like, why waste all the money for a feature-length movie if you're just gonna like you're barely this is barely phoning it in. No, I mean, like, so while Ron was checking that stuff out, I was on OkCupid debating whether or not to change my like listed name to Big Cock Pee-Wee. And I don't know, if there's any single women listening, maybe you'll find out what I chose.
You should just put Big Top Pee-Wee, favorite movie Big Top Pee-Wee, and see how many responses you get. Because the person that responds positively to that, no, actually, the person that responds to that at all, positive or negative, that's the one.
Right. I mean, I've put like obscure shit there to see like, okay, will somebody pick up on this? And I think like my obscure shit is too obscure because that's literally never worked. I mean, I think I'm still doing it. There's like what do I have a reference? Oh yeah. There's like, what is your favorite TV show? And I put Twitch City, which nobody's gonna fucking know what that is. I know what it is. People who know me know what that is because I keep showing the DVDs to people. But like, I mean, I would like to cover that on the show at some point. But okay.
Yeah, so Big Top Pee-Wee.
Big Top Pee-Wee. It's just disappointing on so many levels. There's this like Russian woman who's kind of hot, but like I kind of realize like why am I attracted to her like breaking plates out a window? Right? Like I thought like, ooh, fiery, passion, whatever, right? That's probably dysfunction.
Uh-huh.
And like what else even is Pee-Wee has a lot of sex. This is like it's just the one where Pee-Wee like gets it all out of his system, I guess. And apparently all of the funny was being like just like I don't know, all the funny goes out the window as soon as Pee-Wee gets a handy. Like he needed to stay celibate for the sake of America.
Well, early on he goes for a dry hump, but he fails.
Like in the beginning of the movie, it's like vaguely implied that he fucked a pig. Like the movie because like remember the beginning of the first one, he wakes up in the bedroom and you got this long tracking shot of all this like 50s kitsch crap.
Yeah.
This one, it's just like he wakes up, there's a literal pig crawling out of the bed, and like I guess Pee-Wee gets lonely too. I guess that's really what this movie's about.
And at one point he does pick up the pig and fondle it.
Pee-Wee will defiantly try to contradict my attempts to erase his sexuality. That is what this movie is about.
Oh, Dan, I'm sorry that I showed this to you. I ruined Pee-Wee for you.
No. This doesn't ruin the first movie. I mean, it's like saying you saw the 5th season of Arrested Development. It's like I can't watch Arrested Development anymore. Like, would you say that's one of the most disappointing sequels ever made?
I'd have to think of others, but it definitely ranks up there.
Because like I don't think it's the worst sequel ever made, but in terms of the expectations I had from the original versus what's there, like that's definitely. Because I remember thinking like Matrix Reloaded was a bunch of bullshit when it came out, but then I like realized the original Matrix was kind of a lot of bullshit long after it came out. So like I feel like it's not as steep a decline, even though Matrix Reloaded is like a fucking garbage movie. But what is another? I mean, the second season of True Detective, I didn't really like the first season that much, so I wasn't as disappointed as everybody else was. I'm trying to think of like. I mean, Godfather Part 3, it's pretty bad, but it's not that bad.
No, it's not Pee-wee's Big Adventure to Pee-wee's Big Top Pee-wee.
Here, think of a few while I fill this pitcher with lemonade. Breakin' 2.
I was
not
actually
live up to the standards of the first Breakin'.
It does actually.
Oh, I've never seen either of them. I've owned Breakin' 2 for like years, and I still never watched it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I was trying to go through some hip hop movie. I watched like Juice the other day. That was pretty good. The one with Tupac in it.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I just never. I think you like told me that Breaking 2 is just like as bad as the title.
Yeah, but it's fun too.
Okay, because I do love like terrible breakdancing movies. Like I've seen You Got Served probably 3.5 times.
Okay. Oh yeah, you might enjoy Electric Boogaloo.
I think I would enjoy. Yeah, I think it's a movie I would like secretly like.
Yep.
But yeah, like Pee-wee, he can like make out with some other like girl in front of some other girl, and then he's still like Pee-wee's the fucking Mac in this movie. And he does it all without having like any kind of personality or like anything to distinguish him from these like basically the circus equivalent of the police academy students.
No, you know who the real Mac is in this movie?
Who?
Winnie, his ex-fiance, who ends up with 4 brothers.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's the point where she's like on the fucking what is it? She's on the tractor and she's got like 8 guys all like feeling her up or whatever.
Uh-huh.
There's so many gross moments in this movie.
And she does end up with all of them. She has, with all 4 brothers, she has 4 engagement rings from them.
I mean, I was telling you while we were watching the movie that like I had this god awful idea for a porno parody title.
Uh-oh. Oh, yes.
Right, like 7 brothers and 1 bride, or 1 bride.
So this was 4 brothers and 1 bride.
Right, this was like 1 Pee-wee, 1 cup, because this movie's a turd. Like if we ever actually go through with getting you the Pee-wee Herman cameo, do you want to like ask him to apologize for Big Top Pee-wee? Like you have like 5 minutes with the man. That's like the one. You can have your like Kaveh Zahedi moment. Like when Kaveh Zahedi met John Waters and he was just like, why do you suck now?
I won't tell him I don't like him though.
Yeah, we need to get Kaveh Zahedi back on the show. Like the tension between you guys, just like
should you know what? I'll apologize to him and make it clear that I still don't like him.
Do it. That's the most Kaveh Zahedi thing I've ever heard
of. Yeah. So Pee-wee has sex.
He has a lot of sex.
There was a movie review at the time that summed it up with, in the first movie, Pee-wee loses his bike. In this movie, Pee-wee loses his virginity. And that's pretty much
right. Like the thing is, the Pee-wee Herman Carroll. Like, I don't want to speak to Paul Reubens personally, but like you could watch that guy fuck and you still wouldn't think this guy fucks. Like I mean, we pretty much see like there's a shot that's kind of meant to imply that the Russian lady's giving him a blowjob at one point, where it's just like her hair going back and forth for like 10 seconds. Yeah, there's just a lot of that. None of it matches the character. It's just like, I mean, it looks like they took a script for some generic circus movie and then just slapped fucking Pee-wee Herman on it. And Chris Christopherson could not act his way out of a paper bag. Like, he's so generic in this movie, and he has no chemistry with Pee-wee. He has no comedic timing with Pee-wee. Not that they're given any material where that would have saved it, but still, there's not a lot.
Duke, the dog-faced boy, was played by Benicio del Toro.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh, yeah, and fucking Screech from Saved by the Bell, he shows up as a background kid.
Oh, that's right.
A few times.
Dustin
and those are like the big celebrity cameos, right? Versus you got fucking Phil Hartman, Elvira, and like God knows who else in the first one.
Right. And in 1988,
that's kind of weird about this movie because like the first movie, it's this huge success, and then it's like nobody wanted to be friends with Pee-wee Herman or work on a movie with him from the looks of this movie. It seems like every talented person he surrounded himself with left. and then he replaced them all with Chris Christopherson, and then just like took a giant fucking dump, and then asked us all to pay like whatever a movie ticket was, and
Let's see. It was probably about $10 for the for the 9 o'clock show.
It was still $10 to go to a movie in 1988.
Oh yeah, might have been less. Yeah, might have
Um,
been. I don't remember exactly.
I guess I was always going to discount theaters when I was a kid, so I never quite got. I was never seeing first run stuff usually.
Okay.
So I was still paying, although, you know, like you get what you pay for, right? Like a lot of it is not going to be screened off of film print or whatever. But when you're a kid, it's just sort of like, oh, this is the only place in town that's showing foreign movies, which nobody's ever going to remember that
Right.
period in time now, because it's just like, oh, there's a million foreign movies if I just click, you know. And
no,
like
there'd just be one place in town.
Yeah, there'd be like one place in town. If you didn't catch it when it was screening, like good luck ever finding it again. That kind of stuff.
Although it was pretty bold of this to be screened mostly in art house cinemas.
Oh, you're talking about Big Top Pee-Wee?
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that where it was? Along, 1 week you had foreign film, and the next week you have Big Top Pee-Wee.
I mean, so the film forum in Saratoga, they would do stuff like that depending on what kind of prints they got in. Like I remember one week it was Friday, they were showing like Apocalypse Now Redux, the like 8 hour whatever the fuck Apocalypse Now. Sunday they showed Top Secret, the Naked Gun movie, like the other Naked Gun kind of movie. And then I think the next week they showed 8.5. Like they were showing a pretty eclectic mix of stuff over there.
Oh, okay. So they might have shown this.
They very well may have shown. Well, they probably would have shown the first one, not this one. But I feel like this screened at the MoMA at some point when I was in college, because like MoMA would show like mostly weird international art stuff, but then every like few weeks they would just be like, here's Blackula 2 on an original film print from the archives. Or like, I'm trying to think what some, like, it wasn't even always bad movies. Like I saw Mr. Smith Goes to Washington there, but I still to this day have no idea why that was screened when it was screened. But yeah.
Showing old movies wasn't a normal thing there?
Showing old movies was a normal thing, but usually they program them as part of like a larger program where it's like 30 movies or whatever.
Oh, okay.
They'll do like a lot of retrospectives. That one, it must have been part of some series, but they weren't doing a Capra retrospective. I think the other stuff I saw that week was like these fucking god awful, no budget Canadian indie movies. I think the only one I remember is Cracky. Cracky is such a bad. Cracky is like almost as bad as Embalming Love, but I saw it at the MoMA. And I mean, you can't find it anywhere, I would imagine. And it probably, I'm like kicking this movie that screened at the MoMA once, and then like the credit card company came after the director. I'm like being a giant asshole right now. But
oh, jeez. Oh, Dan, I can't believe we watched that. I can't believe that I've now seen it for the second time in my life.
Well, wait until you see You Got Served for the third and a half time. Like, that's when the subtleties and nuances of that movie really start to reveal themselves.
All right. Maybe I need to watch it again tomorrow. Maybe it'll appreciate it more.
Okay. Did you ever hear that podcast where it was just two dudes in New Zealand and they decided they were going to watch Sex and the City 2, the movie, once a week for an entire year? So like by the 50th episode, they're like, I literally can't focus on the figures on the screen. My eyes have retrained themselves to entirely look at like background details. And they just kind of slowly go crazy over the course of watching Sex and the City 2 50 something times, if I remember right.
Wow.
And then it was a huge hit, so they had to do a sequel season. So then they had to watch Grown Ups 2 with like Adam Sandler and Chris Rock 52 times.
Oh, God.
So like the Mr. Show movie by and large is bad. Run Ronnie Run. But there's like 3 or 4 amazing gags in that movie. There's like when they pull away from the TV in the Roadhouse diner, it's like, we now return to fishing with guns. And it's just a guy shooting off like a rifle off a fucking canoe. I don't know. I laughed so hard when I saw it. The rest of it sucks. This movie, there's no.
No, we laughed once. I just remember.
Oh, we did laugh once. Yeah, when they're having the circus exhibits, and then the last one's Pee-wee. That was moderately funny.
And he does a Pee-wee sound. He goes, no, I can't do it. But he does a Pee-wee growl. No, the growl.
I mean, if I got to talk like Pee-wee to get chicks like that, because there was some spoken chicks in this movie, and I don't know, they don't seem to be acting like they have the dating options they have.
Well, who wouldn't want a Pee-wee?
I don't know. Do you want a Pee-wee?
No, actually, I don't. Not after watching this movie.
After the first movie?
Third movie.
Third movie, you thought he was kind of hot?
No, but he plays opposite Joe Matigliano, or I don't know, the guy that played the werewolf in the Twilight movies, and he was one of the dancers in Magic Mike XXL. He does the strip routine in the gas station. So he's in the third movie, which I was surprised you didn't know about.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah,
I have to go check it out.
It's a Netflix movie. It was made for Netflix. I think Netflix. So I don't know where it's playing now. I don't know if it's available on there. Actually, that's an easy thing to check. NET. What's the name of the movie? Oh, I have to log in. Never mind. I can check this later.
Pee-wee's AARP card.
How old do you think he is?
He's got to be like late 60s, early 70s.
Oh.
Right? I mean, you can look it up, but I would bet dollars to donuts it's going to be. How
old is Paul Rubin? I misspelled Rubens. He's 68 years old. All right, there's a picture that showed up, which I was going to say, he still looks pretty young. Now, he's clearly older, but he's still got that sort of baby face that he would cultivate. Yeah, I don't know what else. Pee-wee gets laid. There's the movie.
Pee-wee gets and like I was hoping that this would be kind of a like inspirational. Maybe I'd like pick up some tips, because I was like, you know, like that sounds like a victory for the little guy, right? Like Pee-Wee Herman gets stuck in the middle of a love triangle. And this was not a victory for anyone. This was not inspirational. This was not like, don't do it at home, not because it's dangerous, but just because it sucks.
Yeah, when we say, we watch all the movies that you don't have to, we're not saying you shouldn't. We normally don't say you shouldn't watch the movie. It's just, you don't have to watch the movie, but you can still choose to. In this case, please don't watch it.
I think both movies you can, like, unless you're really, really enamored with the novelty value of them, which I think is what happened to at least me here. Neither of these movies need to be watched.
No.
By anyone ever, unless you're like Pee-Wee Herman's biographer or something. And even then, you'd want to watch it less than the other ones. But yeah, I guess that's really all we had to say about the movies, unless Ron has any final thoughts.
No, just one of them is sort of watching it as a historical relic, don't. And the other one, watching as a gag-filled comedy that follows on the heels of its predecessor, don't. Yeah,
it's like a slow, unfunny version of Police Academy, which, like, to me, Police Academy is a fast, unfunny version of Police Academy. But yeah, it's got like a little of the Police Academy vibes. You got like everybody from the circus shows up, and they each got their own little like moment where they get to kind of prove like that they're not completely irrelevant to the plot. Yeah, that's probably it, I think, right?
Yeah, that's it. We could drag the sound for longer, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can keep talking for
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So I'm still Dan.
And I'm still Ron.
This has been the Anomaly Questionable Movies podcast.
And we watch them so that you don't have to. And we're really sorry for even telling you that these movies exist.
Even Bill Clinton can't feel my pain.
All right. Take care, everyone.